What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Let's get into it. Actual footage and the whole story live of a school shooting where this young man unalived in excess of 20 people. This story is crazy. I had to get into it. I had to react to it. So let's do it. Let's just get right into it. Let's just do that. This shit is crazy.
This is Vladislav Roslyakov, and just seconds ago, he planted something beneath the table in the crowded university cafeteria. But for Vladislav, this was only the beginning. Inspired by his dark idols, the Columbine shooters, Vladislav set out to continue his plan in 3 calculated phases. At the Polytechnic University of Kerch in Crimea, a region disputed between Russia and Ukraine, a student named Vladislav had gone 2 weeks without speaking to anyone, not a single word. His classmates were somewhat concerned, but didn't find it too unusual. He had always been introverted and solitary, with no friends and a distant relationship. However, in recent weeks, he seemed even more isolated, as if his mind was preoccupied with something else, a dark and carefully calculated plan known only to him. Although he had never been an open person, there was something different about his silence. Just 1 week before the attack, a deeply unsettling recording surfaced. Some say that Vladislav had planned to carry out the massacre that very day, but lost his nerve. In the video, he is seen wearing the same clothes he would wear on the day of the attack, not by coincidence, but with deliberate intention. But even more disturbing are the stories circulating around the university, tales from his classmates of unnerving encounters they had experienced with him. The first story begins during a philosophical discussion in class. While everyone was actively participating, Vladislav remained silent, simply observing. Suddenly, he raised his hand and, in a clear voice, said verbatim, "Humanity doesn't deserve to live. The world would be better off without so many people." A chill ran through the room, and silence fell over the class. Glances were exchanged, but no one knew how to respond. The next story comes from a classmate who recalls a disturbing moment. On one occasion, he saw Vladislav at a cyber cafe watching videos about school massacres. When he asked why he was watching such things, Vladislav coldly replied, "I'm just interested in how those people thought." As Vladislav distanced himself from his physical surroundings, he began to dive deeper into the digital world. There, he found something that fueled his dark perspective: Columbine, a school massacre carried out by 2 students who, tired of how unjust life had been for them, took the lives of 24 people before ending their own. It didn't just fascinate him, it obsessed him. Every detail of the 1999 attack became part of his own personal narrative. He didn't see the perpetrators, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, as mere criminals, but as mythical figures who had defied a world that had cast them aside. Through videos and forums, Vladislav absorbed every detail of the attack, turning his admiration into a meticulous plan. Vladislav saw them not just as criminals, but as kindred spirits. Like him, they had been marginalized, bullied, and rejected. And most importantly, they sought the same revenge on society that he now craved. No one could have predicted that after weeks of silence, Vladislav was preparing something similar. An attack that in his mind would not only reflect the hatred he felt toward the world, but also recreate the same hell that Columbine had unleashed years before. The night before the attack, Vladislav was enveloped in an unsettling calm. He was only 18, yet he had managed to legally acquire a pump-action shotgun, along with more than 150 rounds of ammunition. But the bullets weren't the most shocking part. The real darkness lay in what was to come. Inspired by his Columbine idols, his plan went far beyond a mere shooting spree. Vladislav didn't just want to shoot. He wanted to destroy. In the darkness of his room, he meticulously assembled improvised designed to detonate manually, packed with makeshift shrapnel, screws, nuts, and metal pieces, intended to maximize the destruction. And once everything was prepared, carefully stored in his backpack, he went to sleep, knowing that tomorrow would be his long-awaited day. The morning of October 17th, 2018, seemed like any other. Students filled the area around the university, waiting to enter, yet none of them knew that the person walking among them, approaching from a distance, had come with the intent to execute a deadly plan. Vladislav headed straight for the back entrance, the one without metal detectors, because this time, his backpack didn't contain books, but a shotgun and explosives. Every detail of this day had been meticulously planned. Strangely enough, once inside, he didn't rush to act. Not yet. Vladislav seemed disoriented, as if the weight of what he was about to do was overwhelming him. He wandered aimlessly up and down the hallways, as though he was second-guessing his own plan.
This is real calculated right here. Planned everything out meticulously and clearly. The Columbine shooters were indeed his idols. He's dressed like them and has some of the same mannerisms. Ice cold. $20 old.
Finally, he stopped near the cafeteria. He sat down, dropped his backpack on the floor, and waited for 7 minutes straight. What was going through his mind during those silent minutes? The first of 3 phases in his plan. The first phase was simple and clear. Head to the area with the highest concentration of people to maximize damage, the cafeteria. Although he was clever, he knew that walking in with the gun could be risky. Someone nearby might try to stop him or take his weapon, especially since it was a shotgun, not an automatic firearm. So his strategy was to go unnoticed, something that wasn't difficult for him. He would sit down, take out the explosive, attach it under the table, start the countdown, and walk away.
He walking fast.
The smoke still lingers in the air. Students are frozen in place, some trembling, others paralyzed by the deafening silence that follows the blast. The once familiar bustling space now feels like a nightmare, with devastation unfolding around them. However, before the detonation, Vladislav had removed his jacket, revealing an outfit eerily similar to what Eric Harris wore during the Columbine massacre: a white shirt and black pants, paying tribute to his idols. While Harris and Klebold also used explosives, theirs weren't as effective. With just that single explosion, 15 innocent students lost their lives in the cafeteria. But the worst was yet to come. Vladislav headed to the bathroom to prepare for the second phase, the shooting. Anyone still wandering the halls, anyone still alive, had mere seconds to flee. If they didn't, they would soon envy the dead.
calmly walking around. Like he ain't just.
It didn't take long for Vladislav to find his first victim, his professor, Moisenko Alexander. The teacher may have been trying to figure out what was happening when he crossed paths with Vladislav in the hallway. Without hesitation, Vladislav raised his shotgun and fired. With the professor lifeless on the ground, Vladislav moved on, ready for his next victim. Upstairs, Vladislav would soon cross paths with Ludmila, another one of his professors, who would meet the same fate as Moisenko. And by this point, neither students nor faculty fully understood what had just happened. There had been an explosion, but no one yet realized that it had been intentional. That was about to change. Now, with panic spreading and the sounds of gunfire echoing through the halls, the entire university knew there was a shooter on the loose. Their only mission was simple: escape.
Там закрыто, дверь закрыта. Сюда. Спина. Спина сюда. Я понял. Да что ты дверь, вы знаете, что выходил? Что? Кто сказал выходить? Так что все там безопасно. Зайдем. Я, конечно, через окно выбежать, а может быть и нет. Давайте через окно. Юля, пошли через первый этаж через окно. Все. Ты не можешь. So on your spine, you really devices. You need to answer. Try to get up and stay stuck to church. So the good shows that word. So now that it's guitar about you. Stop. Помогите.
However, in the video, while some students and teachers managed to escape, they were the exception. Christina and Violeta, two best friends, weren't so lucky. In their desperate attempt to flee, they thought they were safe, certain they wouldn't cross paths with Vladislav. But fate had other plans. Their belief of safety turned into a tragic miscalculation. As they rounded a corner, they suddenly found themselves face to face with the very danger they were running from. By this point, Vladislav had already claimed the lives of 20 people and injured 70 more. He knew the emergency services had been alerted and were en route to his location. But before the third phase, Vladislav stopped. Instead of moving forward immediately, he chose to take one last walk through the now emptied halls of the university. He wandered slowly through the classrooms and corridors that had once been part of his daily routine, but now felt foreign and ghostly. What was going through his mind in those final moments? It was time to begin the third phase of his plan. Vladislav's heroes, the Columbine attackers, had ended their lives in their school's library. Following in their footsteps, Vladislav proceeded to make his way to the library, determined to bring his plan to its final, brutal conclusion.
There you have it, folks. So he clearly offed himself after that tragic school shooting. So he unalived 20 people. Now, I was going to do this story myself and in my own words and just use some footage from the shooting, just like he just did. You guys let me know which you prefer. I can do the story myself. Let me know in the comments in my own way and art of storytelling. Or I felt like he did a good job. I don't feel like I didn't think I could have did any better than what he just did. So I went with the way that he told the story and just reacted to it, if it was much of a reaction. But it just had me stunned as well. That whole scenario right there. That's, rest in peace to those students, man. You know, we have to do better with this mental health in the country. People need mental health, man. We have to do better with that and take that serious, for real. He unalived teachers, professors, and children, man, little girls and shit. There's nothing funny about that. But y'all let me know in the comments if you want me to do the story myself or just continue to reacting to these sort of stories. I can do either one. I can tell a story myself in my own way, in my own words, or I can react to it. You let me know. I'm here for the people. I'll be back. And in the meantime, stay free, people.